Central New York, and hello, hockey fans all across the internet, and welcome to 315 Hockey Live, brought to you by 315hockey.com and powered by My Little Falls. I'm your host, Scott Kinville, and you know, Dave, I'll tell you,
I'm laughing already.
You just can't even control yourself already. I think this is a new record, by the way. We're 30 seconds into the show.
30 seconds in, we're off the rails.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Forget
Jordy's
it. It's over.
fault.
It's over.
It's all about the surgery.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because it's the little things. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the little things.
But, anyways, we have a very interesting show tonight because, normally we're always talking about what happens on the ice, be it goals, assists, big saves, big games, and stuff like that. Tonight, we're going to go behind the scenes a little bit, and we're going to take a look and see what it takes to keep the players that we love to watch play, keeping them healthy and performing at peak physical condition at all times.
I need this.
But what?
I need this.
Well, you know what? You're going to get your opportunity to talk about it in a few minutes.
Jordy, do not laugh that much. This is not right.
You're just having too much fun with this. You know that, right?
I know, yeah.
You just are.
It was the voice recording we did before we came on the air.
Jordy, you should have seen that.
Yeah,
was awesome.
Jordy, he did WWE. I mean, it was awesome. I needed something recorded, and I said, put on your Circus Barker voice.
Great.
Yeah. So, but anyways, tonight we have got the assistant athletic trainer for the Utica Comets, Mr. Ryan Monaco, coming on. A little bit of a scheduling conflict. He'll be in at 7:15 tonight, but he is coming on, and I tell you, I've been really looking forward to something like this because you wonder, we can break down plays and we can watch the X's and O's and all that all we want, but you're always kind of in the back of your head wondering, geez, what does it take to keep these guys performing at the level that they do? Because let's face it, they're performing at a much higher physical level than your normal person would be, for sure, right?
Us for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
There's them, there's the normal one, then there's us down here.
Really. Below the beer league.
Yes, yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah.
We'll have to discuss that with him too.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
But before he comes on, so what we normally do is we normally have our guest first, and then we go into segment 2 to talk about local news and wrap up and all that. We're going to do it a little bit differently tonight. We're going to do a flip-flop. So we're going to do segment 2 first, and then when Ryan comes in, we're going to just jump right into segment 1.
Awesome. Almost warm enough for flip-flops. Let's go.
I tell you, it is. It's nice. It's really nice. But so to kick off the local news, you know what? We here at 315 Hockey Live just want to say congratulations to Danielle Serdachny, the captain of the Colgate Women's Raiders hockey team. She is representing Team Canada in the IIHF World Women's Championships, which begin right now, actually, in Brampton, Ontario.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're playing Team Switzerland. And I'll tell you, Danielle is a superstar. There's just no getting around it. She really is. She was up for basically what you would the MVP, the Kurzinger Award, I believe it's called, the MVP of women's hockey. She was a finalist for that this year. Some could say that she definitely had a very, very legit shot at winning, and she had 71 points, which is awesome. Yeah, which is absolutely awesome. But anyways, she's representing Team Canada. They're playing. As a matter of fact, you know what? They're on TV. Forgot to say that too.
Oh,
they're on the NHL Network.
Oh, nice.
So if you
right, see you later.
I was gonna say, there goes our audience. Yeah. Well, that was fun while it lasted. And speaking of fun while it lasted, here's our other co-host. There he is. He is like the Ray Kroc of 315 Hockey because he is the founder of 315 Hockey. Mike Verminski. Vermi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're not too bad. We were just talking about Danielle Serdachny playing in the IIHF Women's World Championships, which is on the NHL Network right now. Nice. I think that's pretty awesome. So, I think I'm going to watch that when I get done here.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Raiders, I tell you, of course, the Raiders had a fantastic year, both the men's and the women's. The women's team, a day or two after our last show, the USCHO announced their all-star teams. So we couldn't get it in the last show. But darn it, we're doing it right now.
Do it.
And I'll tell you, what a surprise. Danielle Serdachny, first team USCHO all-star. Let's see, defender Allison Simpson. She was a second team USCHO all-star. And forward Kelty Kaltanova is the third team USCHO all-star. So I'll tell you, the honors and the accolades just keep rolling in for the Raiders.
They were a great team.
They were. They really are. And I tell you, they got a lot of players coming back. I think they can really make a fantastic run again next year.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, I say this all the time, and people are probably sick of me hearing to say, yeah, I don't care.
Okay,
Get down to Colgate next season. Get down there and watch one of those games.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was.
Go ahead, hit your music. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to do music.
Oh,
I was just going to do.
I saw you reaching. There you go. Yeah, I saw you reaching for the keyboard.
I didn't
there.
have it. I wasn't ready for it.
See,
right, there we go.
Wait a minute. What? Dave the Save wasn't ready.
You weren't
I had
ready.
the volume turned down. I wasn't. I had a show earlier, and you fade out, and anyway.
Still all rattled from the WWE voiceover.
I really am. that was pretty good.
Yeah, Vermin, we were just talking before you came on there about I actually got to do some voiceover work before the show started. Yeah.
It was pretty funny. I just couldn't stop laughing.
This might be Dave's first and last job that he gets from this person, but that's okay.
Yeah, might be. Yeah.
And Vermin, like I was just telling the audience here, Ryan will be on at 7:15. A little bit of a scheduling conflict, so we're getting segment 2 out of the way first. Let's see, is it? It's the pick on Dave.
Oh, you
it is.
Oh, you read this one.
I can't see it. Well,
of all the other comments on there.
Well, I can't. It was on the bottom, so I couldn't.
Okay, all right.
Boy, Jordy. For a couple of weeks now, we've been talking about Utica Pioneers that have signed professional contracts, and I do believe you have an update on how they're doing.
Yep, I sure do. So first you have Connor Fedoruk, who did go to the Kalamazoo Wings in the ECHL. He's played 6 games so far, has logged an assist, 1 point, 2 penalty minutes. Justin Allen is, I want to say, over in the ECHL. I don't remember. I don't have the teams down, so I'm going to forget somebody's team.
Yeah, Justin Allen and Regan Kavanaugh with Norfolk of the ECHL.
Yes,
yep.
Thank you. Justin Allen has logged 5 games, an assist, and a point, and a penalty minute, just like Fedoruk. Kavanaugh has also played 5 games, but has 2 assists, 2 points. Mick Curran has played 4 games, has not logged any points. Lucas Herman, his teammate, over in the SPHL also, has played in 5 games, has 4 goals, 2 assists for 6 points, and has over a point per game.
Lighten it up.
Yep. Dante Zapata has played 7 games, has 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points. Brandon Osmondson hasn't played a game yet, sadly.
He'll get in there.
He will. And then John Monkovich has played 3 games with Fayetteville and has 3 goals. He potted 2 in one night, so he's starting to light it up.
Yeah, he basically went back home and he said, "Hey, guess what I learned in Utica?"
Yep.
No, I'm sure he's always a natural goal scorer anyway, but he gets to do it in front of his home state, which is so totally cool. And don't forget, recent Oswego graduate Alex DiCarlo is with the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs of the SPHL, and he's got 2 goals, 2 assists in 7 games. So, I'll tell you, the Central New York region making everybody proud there. And you know what? We're going to talk about that in just a second too, because I'm telling you, Ryan will be on in a few minutes with the Comets, but what a weekend this is, and what an end of the season in the AHL this really is turning into. That AHL North Division is just ridiculous right now, absolutely ridiculous. I got it pulled up right here. Toronto's actually clinched the division, but then you get past Toronto, Syracuse is in second place with 75 points. The Comets are in third with 74. The Americans are in fourth with 74. Laval is in fifth with 68. And then Belleville and Cleveland both have 65. They're right outside the striking distance because you got to be in the top 5 to get into the playoffs. Guys, this is going to be really interesting the way this is going to end.
Yeah, it sure is.
I mean, it's nerve-wracking for fans, of course, if you're a fan of any of those teams, but it's also so exciting because, and the thing to remember here too is Syracuse had a decided advantage over the Comets because they had a game in hand, right? And then that game Sunday turned into just basically a 1-point game because it went to the shootout, which my daughter was thrilled, by the way. She
awesome.
finally got to see a shootout.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, I'll sidebar a little bit. Because we have Comet season tickets. Every time that we've gone and they've gone to the shootout, we've actually left early for whatever reason. Either it was a school night, had to get her home and all that. And she's never seen the shootout.
Oh, nice.
So she finally got to see one in the Comets.
She didn't get the autograph she wanted. So
I'll tell you though because I tell you that they had the fan fest afterwards. My God, it was mobbed. Holy mackerel! I'm like, I'm getting hungry here.
Yeah, let's go eat. Forget the signatures.
It's
Can't eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, here, I'll sign it.
Yeah. You turned around and just started signing
Yeah.
everybody's stuff, right?
That's it.
Yeah. I can see that.
You probably could actually.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, they wore those jerseys as well. The
That
ones
was awesome.
that you did the article on.
Yeah.
by the
No,
way.
I love those things.
Those were nice. I like those.
Yep.
Yeah, they
So
look
we
good.
bring them back next year.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
for
so.
one
You know,
game.
and I'll tell you, I think that's what I love the most about like when teams do the different jerseys like that. It just kind of breaks up the monotony a little
Yeah.
bit, you know. But yeah, that's awesome. And what Barry say there? Let's see. Oh no, she no. Dave asked her Barry, and she didn't want it.
Oh,
no,
that's
let's talk about
not
the score.
true.
Syracuse is up
Yes.
1-0 already, actually, and they're playing tonight in Rochester. So as I was saying, Syracuse up until tonight has the game in hand on the Comets. After tonight, everybody's going to be even on the games played. So everybody's going to have 5 games left, something like that. And let's see who got that Syracuse goal. It was Jack Finley. Jack Finley scored. So I'll tell you, if you're a Comets fan, the one thing you do not want is that game to turn into a 3-point game. You want somebody to win that game in regulation. I don't think it really matters much at this point who wins, but it can't go 3 points if you're a Comets fan because that's bad news.
Yeah.
Bad juju. Looking ahead at the schedule, too. So for the Crunch, they got Rochester tonight. They're at Rochester right now, actually. Friday night, they come back to Syracuse to play the same Rochester Americans. And then on Saturday, they are home for the Laval Rocket. Or as a friend of the show, Kevin Gould would say, Rocket du Laval. He'd be so proud of the French accent, too.
Yeah.
Even though he would probably know you screwed it up.
You did.
Yeah, most likely. The Comets. Well, I'll tell you what, they got a tough game at home Friday night. They got Toronto Marlies. And then Saturday night, they are hosting the Rochester Americans. So speaking of the Utica Comets, there he is, the man of the hour.
How's it going, guys?
How we doing, Ryan? He is the
Doing well.
the assistant athletic trainer for the Utica Comets, Mr. Ryan Monaco. What's going on? How are you?
Not too bad. Not too much, man. Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for coming on. Like I said, this has been something I've really been interested in finding out, that whole behind the scenes thing, because we were talking before you came on about, a lot of times we'll talk about what happens on the ice, and we'll talk about plays and big saves and goals and the X's and O's and power plays and all that. But there's one thing that, people really don't know about. How do we keep these players operating in tip-top condition? And that is where somebody like you steps in.
Yeah. There's a whole lot that goes on behind the scenes, a lot more than I realized prior to taking on this job. And there's a whole team of people that make it happen. We have myself, we have the head athletic trainer, we have massage therapists, we have acupuncturists, we have orthopedic doctors, regular doctors, strength and conditioning coaches, sports scientists, and there's a whole group of people that, the AHL is a development league that go into making sure that these guys are ready to play, not only at the AHL, but to make it to the next level. So there's a whole lot that goes into it. Yes.
Wow. I didn't realize that there was that many people involved.
Yeah. There's a whole lot.
Yeah,
And that's just on what was that, Verms?
I thought there was like 3 of you, not that many.
Yeah. There's a great team that they put together here for us. So it makes my job kind of easy. So it's good.
Well, especially when you said acupuncturist, I'm going, oh my goodness. I go,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what the sports scientist does.
That's a good question. Yeah.
So the sports scientist, the transition that I've seen in the past 5 years, before there was just a regular strength and conditioning coach, and he just, did lifts, created workout programs for guys in season and out season. And now that role is really transitioned into where not only do you have to be a strength and conditioning coach, but you have to be a sports scientist as well. So what that person does, what's up, Jer? What that person does is he tracks players' heart rates during practices. They have GPS monitors on during the practice to kind of see their workload
Wow.
and puts it all into formulas and really is a useful tool in returning to play for an injured player.
No kidding. That's fascinating because
Mhm.
you just don't realize that much goes into it. That's it's actually really incredible and all this is happening right here in Utica too. That's the
Right
whole
here
thing.
right here in Utica. Yeah.
That's amazing. So Ryan, tell us a little bit about your background. Now you're a physical therapist. So tell us a little bit about that and how you came to the Comets as the assistant athletic trainer.
So I graduated from a place called Dominican College in 2004. I got my degree in athletic training. And then after that, I went to Utica College for physical therapy, graduated from there in 2011, worked at a few places, and then went out on my own in 2016. During the 2017-18 season, I got a phone call from the athletic trainer at Utica at that time. His name was Toby Blosser. And there was a ton of injuries on the team that year. And they needed a hand. And the text message kind of went like, he introduced himself and he's like, hey, would you be willing to work with some of our guys? And I like dropped my phone real quick and I was just like, this is not real life. So they came over to my office, had two guys that had surgery, and then Captain Carter Banks had a knee injury that kept him out for quite a bit of time, and developed a relationship with those guys, did a good job, got him back. And then the following season, 2018, 2019, I was brought on by Vancouver to be a more permanent staff member. So,
okay. All right. So
then,
that's through the NHL franchise then.
Yeah. Everything
Okay.
goes through everything hockey player contact goes through the parent club in Vancouver and now New Jersey.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. So, with your role with the Comets, because I mean, like you just blew my mind with the amount of people that you said that are involved. So, what exactly would your role be in the chain of things, I guess?
So, I go down every day for practice. So that consists of just working with the guys, the regular players that are in the lineup, getting them ready for practice. After practice or when they're on the ice, the injured guys then come into the training room and we work with them just on whatever their rehab program is, with whatever they got going on. During a game, I show up about 2.5 hours early, get the game guys ready. And then during the game, you're just kind of standing there and crossing your fingers and hoping that nobody gets hurt. If someone gets hurt in the middle of the game, they get passed to me, or Johnny and I switch places. I'll go on the bench. Johnny will come off if he has to do a concussion evaluation, or they just get placed to me. Excuse me one second.
Thought that was Jeremy. I was got to mute him. Looks like one of those commercials you see on TV where the kids slip in from the back room.
Yeah, I know. That's wild.
We're just going to use this over and over again, so don't worry about it.
Don't feel
Very
bad, Ryan.
good.
Dave does the same thing all the time. It's okay.
Nice.
We're just going to run that clip, Ryan, over and over.
Perfect. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, during the games, it gets, like you have to really be on all the time watching. The situation in Buffalo earlier this year kind of, shook me up as an athletic trainer, because an athletic trainer saved that guy in the Bills' life and immediately started administering CPR. So situations like that, you hope that they never happen. A lot of the times, unfortunately, in sports, especially a contact sport like hockey, it can happen, and you just have to be ready for it.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. That's awesome.
Yep.
So, as an athletic trainer, what are some of the common injuries you see with hockey players?
So with hockey players, especially at our level, probably the most common one we see is like shoulder injuries. So when I speak about like acute injuries that happen like in the middle of a game, you're going to see concussions and you're going to see AC joint sprains, just because they're throwing their bodies around, hitting people. That's just kind of what happens, and there's nothing you can really do about it to prepare for it. You're hit in at an awkward angle, and that sort of thing happens. Other times, fractures of the hand or foot if they're blocking shots. And then other injuries that happen in hockey, both at the youth level and all the way up through, is a lot of hip injuries. And that's just from the nature of skating.
Sure. Yeah, I can.
I'm going through now.
I can certainly attest to that. Yeah.
Is the concussion protocol the same as the NFL, or is it different? How does it differ?
I'm not sure how theirs is. I think most leagues have established what their criteria is as far as the return to play and what they have to do. It's usually a 5 or 6 step process once you get them asymptomatic. For us, what we do, once they're baseline, they do their computer test and they're fine. We'll try to do something to get their heart rate up and see if that increases any symptoms. If they're able to progress through that, they're doing a body weight workout. And then we send them on the ice, sometimes by themselves, just to acclimatize themselves with the puck and moving the puck around. You go into a non-contact jersey in a practice. Once they're cleared from that, they'll go to our neuropsych, which is right here in Utica as well. Another member of the team is a neuropsychologist. They do another computer test and a paper test. They pass that, then they're good to go.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, they actually have quite an extensive ability to treat the players right there at the Adirondack Bank Center as well, don't they?
Yeah, we have a training room down there. So we do a lot of the work happens right there. Some long-term injured guys will just come over to my office and just get some treatment there if they're not skating and not on the ice. They'll just come over to my office and get work done there. If the team's on the road, then I'll just go over to the rink, skate the guys that are back, get them ready to go for when the team comes back.
Very cool. Very cool. So
Yep.
Do you guys have a lot to do with like preventative maintenance as well?
Yeah, a lot of the preventative maintenance stuff kind of happens in the all right. A lot of the preventative maintenance stuff kind of happens in the off season.
Cut for the commercial.
During the off season, there's the strength and conditioning coach, both at the NHL level and the AHL level, checks in with the prospects and makes sure that they're doing everything that they need to do as far as exit meetings at the end of the year where the team wanted to see them go. And just check in with their trainers and their physios in the off season to make sure that they're on the right path for the following year.
Very interesting. So we got a comment here, but during a game, if someone's hit, I see them go off the ice when I think it's a mandatory. What do they do in the locker room to see if they can get back on the ice?
So yeah, go ahead.
So I guess basically, what's the extent of what you guys can really do to get them back?
So when someone gets hit, the doctors and I kind of convene, bring the player in, kind of see what's going on, evaluate them as fast as possible because you want to get them back on the ice. There's nobody really replacing them. It affects the lines. It affects the numbers. So we try to get them back as soon as possible. At that point, if the injury is not terribly severe, we make the decision on whether the player can return safely if they can protect themselves. Some guys, it's a lot harder to convince them, to tell them like, you cannot go out, you can't go out there. You can't shield yourself from getting hit. So it's best if you stop.
That's got to get pretty tense sometimes.
It's tough because there are some guys that would have a leg cut off and still want to go out and skate. So that makes it tough.
I'm quite sure if I'd want to tell Mason Gertson you're not playing.
Yeah.
That's the guy
I tried it.
like, man, you know what? You make good, bud.
Yeah. I'm gonna sit this one out. You go ahead. Doc, you tell him. I'm gonna leave. The nice thing about the New Jersey organization that was different from Vancouver was that when we would have an injury, say it was after the game, our closest team was Kalamazoo and then Vancouver all the way across the country. So we had to make a determination really quickly whether we needed to send somebody up or if someone could go up to Vancouver.
Right.
Now having Adirondack so close and New Jersey so close, it just makes it easier. It makes it easier for us to send someone to the hospital that needs an X-ray or whatever needs to be done. So.
And do you work with the other two organizations often insofar as like exchanging information, stuff like that, or not HIPAA information? I'm just saying as far as
Right. Yeah. No.
practice.
They want to know, especially New Jersey wants to know what's going on with their players at all times. There's text messages and phone calls every day on what's going on with the guy. When's he going to be able to be back? If they're going to get called up, they want to know everything that's going on, and notes have to happen on everybody every day.
Yeah, that's for sure. Barry says, so I take it that it's the trainer's decision and not the coach's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's, and obviously Coach Dean would never override you guys or anything like that. You never have to worry about
No,
that.
it works out. It works out really well. He takes everything we say into consideration really well. We have meetings every day with them before practice, letting him know the timeline of guys that are coming back, because he's got to make a practice plan. Who's going to be in an injured skate and who's ready to be with the team.
Wow, that's yeah.
Yep.
And again, and see, this is what I was talking about, going behind the scenes, because you don't realize just how much goes into it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to a game, you think, oh, they skate on the ice, oh, that's it, they're going to play the game, and that's all. But it's hours and hours and hours of preparation on top of it.
It is. It's a long game. Days are long days for these guys. I mean, they show up in the morning, 8:30. You have morning meetings. Wow. They go over videos. They have their normal game day routine. Some guys go on the ice. A lot of the guys go on the ice just they skate in the mornings on game days. Then they'll go home, they'll eat, some nap, and then they're back at the rink at 4:15, 4:30, getting ready for pregame stuff.
You know, I always kind of wondered that too, just what time they get to the rink. That's something I always kind of wondered. That's really neat. Because you have your own personal practice as well, so you're a very busy guy.
I do. Yeah. I've got an office inside of Accelerate Sports. I got a great team there, which allows me to, during the season, be able to be as expendable as possible down at the rink. So it's nice. I got a busy life 6 months out of the year, and then the rest of the time I get to relax a little bit.
Is there a big difference between working with, like, say, professional athletes and just like a regular person coming in off the street? I mean, I'm sure there's got to be some differences.
Yeah, definitely. The thing that I noticed the biggest difference is, these guys, when they're injured, it's their job. Like, this is their 9 to 5. This is their job. So, a normal person, that comes in, for physical therapy, we don't treat them any different. We still give the same amount of care, but they're restricted by insurance companies,
right?
Restricted by co-pays, they're restricted by all these things. Whereas this professional athlete, this is their job. They're in every 6 out of the 7 days a week, sometimes 7 straight days of doing rehab to get better and to get back into the lineup. So that would be the biggest difference that I see on working with a professional athlete or how we handle a professional athlete versus high school, college, recreational, things like that. It's their job to get back. So
sure,
it's a big responsibility on our part to get this person back to doing their job.
Right. No, that absolutely makes sense. Guys, you got any questions?
No, I just came in to say hi.
What was that, Verbs?
Do you travel, or are you only at the home games?
So I will travel. The determining factor on me traveling a lot is how many injuries there are. So if we have injuries and guys have to stay back, I'm the one that gets to stay back, and I get to be on the ice and skate with them at that point. So
that's cool.
It's fun to do that. I grew up playing hockey, and being able to be on the ice with pro guys is surreal for sure. Running them through their stuff and their drills, and just seeing just how incredibly good they are. And even, when we get, the NHL caliber guys down here, how much they differ from, an AHL veteran. Even, when I was skating with Holtz earlier, when he first came down, and it's just like, wow, this is a first rounder. So
that's really awesome. I didn't really think about that either. That's so cool. Mm-hmm. That is. Is there much difference between the NHL and the AHL as far as what they would be going through on a daily preparation basis, or is it pretty much the same?
I think as far as the daily prep, I would imagine it's about the same. The difference being is, the travel, the meals, and the budget in the NHL is a lot different. You're on a bus for 6 hours versus being on a plane everywhere. So
right.
It's different. what I hear from the guys is that playing in the AHL is considerably harder than playing in the NHL.
It makes sense though. It makes
Yeah.
sense because like with the NHL, your first class planes, and all that.
Yeah.
And like you just a lot of bus traveling in the AHL.
Yeah, that and just the league. I mean, it's a grind. It's a harder league. It's the jungle.
Yeah, you're playing 3 and 3 sometimes. It's gotta be tough on the guys.
Yeah, and that's where when we have 3 and 3s, that's where the sports science part really comes in, and developing practices like when are we going to give days off, and that decision doesn't come from me, but when is it going to be recommended that we get days off for the guys because they could be really gassed at that point going into a 3 games on the weekend, and so that's where practice plan and all of that information that gets presented to the coaches, that's where it's very important that we're on point with that.
Yeah, those 3 and 3s have got to be brutal. They've got to be on the players. Ugh.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, and it seems like at the end of the year, the schedule, though, there's not much travel we have at the end of the year, but we packed a lot of games in against the same people over and over again, and every game counts right now, as you guys know. So it's almost like the playoffs have already started a little bit.
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier.
That's the feeling we're having. Yep.
Wow, that North Division is just crazy right now.
Yeah.
Barry wants to know if there's much difference with your training with a goalie as opposed to a forward.
Yeah, the goalies, they have their own goalie coach. They have their own way of doing things. They are constantly on, whether they're playing or whether they're in practice, whereas guys can get reps, there's multiple lines. The goalies are always on. Right now we're running a 3 goalie system. So we got 3 goalies here to kind of give our guys a little bit of a break. So the big thing with goalies that we watch is hydration, because they lose a significant amount of weight while they're playing. But yeah, a lot of emphasis goes into training them differently, whether it's with workload management, hydration, and just hip mobility, things like that, hand-eye coordination. I know earlier this year at development camp down in New Jersey, the guys were doing different vision testing, which was wild for the goalies to kind of determine their nearsightedness versus farsightedness and how that correlates to tracking pucks. So
wow,
it's crazy stuff.
Wow, it's almost like virtual reality stuff.
Yeah.
How was that experience down there?
I see that now. As virtual reality is really coming into play for a lot of different sports. Has that been implemented at all for the goalies?
Not at this level. And I'm not sure, I can't speak to the NHL level, but I'm sure it's only going to be a matter of time before something like that happens.
How was your experience down in New Jersey? That had to have been pretty cool.
I don't think he heard you.
Oh, probably.
Ryan, did you hear that? He froze.
Oh, the screen froze up. That's all. He'll be back.
All right, I'm out of here.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.
Jeremy.
Oh, I think
God.
we get.
Jordan, talk.
Oh, let's see here. We got.
Speak.
There we go. All right, we're back.
He was just taking care of the kids. He didn't want another commercial to be made. Yeah.
It was the virtual reality is what it was.
Yeah, is what it was. He was virtual to begin with. We were talking to a chat. We were doing a chat bot thing with it. This wasn't a real guy. Now the real guy showed up.
I hope I don't disappoint.
Yeah. The AI was pretty good, buddy. I got to tell you.
So how was that experience down there in New Jersey? That had to have been pretty cool.
That was great. It was it was a pleasure working with Vancouver. That was awesome. Never got the opportunity to go out there. It's so far away. But being invited down to development camp in New Jersey was great to see what an NHL locker room and setup is, and being with all the draft picks and working with some of our guys that were invited to development camp. That was a really neat experience.
Yeah, that had to have been awesome. That really did.
Yeah.
So tell us more about your personal your personal job there, the SPI Utica.
Oh, okay. So SPI so there's two companies there. There's SPI, which is the strength and conditioning portion of the company, and myself and Mike Jarmack started that as a way for athletes who were injured and done with physical therapy to be able to be ready to go back and play sports. That turned into an off-season training type facility. And then after a couple of years of doing that, I thought, well, let me take a chance and go out and on my own for physical therapy. Took a gamble and it worked. And so now it's this nice streamlined machine of our injured athletes get transitioned to SPI athletes that are playing a sport and unfortunately get injured end up into the physical therapy realm. So it's just one big circle. And we have a great relationship with the colleges in the area, Utica College or Utica University, Hamilton College, a lot of the local high schools, some pro guys that play overseas that come back and train with us during the summer. It's a really, really fun environment. I'm lucky to be able to do what I do every day. Doesn't seem like real life because essentially I'm just playing all day. So
That's really cool, man. That is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you do just exclusively with athletes, or do you have non-athlete clients as well?
we have non-athletes there too. It's I would say 80% of our population is the athletes, but there are, just like it's like a normal physical therapy clinic. And some of the people that come in that are non-athletes really enjoy athletes. It takes a special kind of person to kind of be in our office. There's a lot going on. There's music going, there's people working out, and people really kind of enjoy it. They keep coming back, and we kind of shake our heads and wonder why they like it, but they do. And we're very fortunate. Got a great group of great staff over there that keeps it going. So it makes getting up and going to work every day very fun.
It sounds like a mutual friend of ours office as well, Kevin Kress.
Yeah, Kevin Kress is a great dude. Great.
You guys
dude.
learn from each
Same
other.
thing. Yeah, we certainly did. He's got a great setup out there. So
That's awesome.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if they need your services, how does anybody get a hold of you? Those damn insurance companies.
yeah. They make everything more challenging. It's gotten harder and harder. It really has. I feel terrible for my admins, and Kevin can attest to this. It's a constant battle to get our athletes and our patients, the appropriate visits needed to even, if someone had an ACL surgery, it's a 6 to 9 month process before you can get back to playing. And, they might give you 20 visits. So you have to be very diligent and good with what you're doing and timing, and it's a battle. So.
Yeah, I had the hip injury there, and it's just, it's like, come on, I'm getting old and brittle here. I need more.
What do you mean getting?
Well, hey, listen, when you're a legendary fourth line beer league guy like I am, all right, so
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and to get me back, in a couple of years.
yeah.
But how will they get a hold of you if they need some physical therapy from you?
So it's just you call the office up, or you can find us online at spiutica.com, or call the office 315-765-6187. One thing that has really made us kind of unique and different is that no matter what, we try to get the person in within 24 to 48 hours. I'm astounded every time I hear someone come to our office and say, our doctor sent us, to this place, and we called and they couldn't get us in for 3 weeks. And to me, that's just not acceptable. They want to, like anybody else, you want to get faster recovery and better yesterday. So we start seeing them right away. Evaluation process usually turns into a treatment on that same day. So that's what to expect in our office. So
yeah, but you're right though. Those insurance companies, man, they make the world go round.
They
really do.
They've got us. They've got us. So
and that is certainly an understatement right there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Guys, you got any other questions?
I don't think so. Thanks for coming on, Ryan.
Thanks, Verms. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on. This has been so much fun. It really has.
Good.
Just one other question I just thought of before we let you go. So
Sounds
when
good.
you're on the bench in the role as the athletic trainer, and there's
Mhm.
an injury out on the ice, do you have to wait for like a signal from the ref to come out, or if you can kind of tell right from the bench, say, "Oh, that's not good. They've already stopped. I'm just jumping on."
Yeah. So knock on wood, thankfully, whenever I've been on the bench, I haven't had that situation happen to me. But for in other sports where I've been on the sideline, yeah, you kind of use your judgment. It'd be when I see someone in high school football get hit, like I'm not gonna let some umpire referee kind of dictate what I'm going to do with my
Right.
injured player. I'm going to run out there and do it. I think they like to do that. They wait to call you out, but you're watching the game. You're in it. You know what's going on. You're going to go out there and try to administer care as fast as possible.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I was younger, like early 90s, there was a trainer for the Calgary Flames. His name was Bearcat Williams. And he went out to go. He jumped. He saw it was a bay, and they hadn't stopped play yet. And the guy almost got run over trying to get some. Bearcat, watch out, Bearcat.
Yeah. It's man, it can. I was thinking about it the other day. Like we had a situation on, I don't know if it was Friday or Saturday night, where there was a guy. Whenever we were playing Syracuse, and there was a guy, and he went awkwardly into the boards on the opposite end of the rink. And he ended up, messing up his wrist pretty bad. And I was just thinking about that situation. If he had gone down right in front of where I stand, where the players come out, I'm gonna hop out there and help him until his trainer can come out, and just being prepared for that. So, yeah, but
yeah, because I mean, you actually can help with the other teams as well.
Yeah, so and that's another role that we have in during the home games is when most teams don't travel with a doctor or multiple staff members. So when one of their guys gets hurt, especially when they get cut, we're down there administering the stitches. So me and the orthopedic other guy or their primary care docs are down there, and we're stitching guys up, and that's trying to do that as fast as possible.
The insurance companies get into the middle of that.
So no, but a funny thing about stitches that has been brought to my attention, especially in the face, there's this kind of like unwritten rule that for every stitch that you have in the face, it's $1,000. So you try to, the guys will ask, like, really pack them in there. If you can do 5 or 6, throw them in there. So,
darn.
Yeah.
Bonus money.
Double stitching them.
Yeah. Like, you need
Get
one
the
or
machine
two.
out.
We put 5 in, and thanks a lot. So.
And actually, since we got Verm here, so in the event a referee gets injured at a home game, it's the home team's responsibility, right, for the trainer to check him out.
Yeah. Actually, last year we had to stitch up a guy. One of the guys he got hit with something, whether it was a stick or a puck. I think he jumped into the middle of a fight and got cut, and he's laying on our table getting stitched up and sent back out there. So they get taken care of just like everybody else.
See, even referees are hot and tough or in hockey are tough. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see any marks on Verm at all.
He does. That's why he's got the beard, the goatee going.
Okay.
Verm's a goalie, so he's protected pretty well.
I'm not a goalie anymore.
Oh, you retired from goalie. Man.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well, it was those hips that you were talking about earlier. That's what it was, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know how that's a tough position, especially when you're in the bar leagues. You get hung out to dry pretty good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, I tell you too. Yeah, you watch like at the AHL level, you get the goaltenders that are just they're big, like like a Nikira Schmid and Nico Dawes. They're not small guys to be able to do what they do with the flexibility.
No.
It's just
No.
unbelievable.
Yeah, they're not. They are big. Nico's very very bottom heavy, and Akira's tall, and man, yeah, they're moving.
That's what they say about me. I'm bottom heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. So they say. Yeah. Yeah, very. Is it like the old days where players would get stitched up without pain shots? No Novocaine.
Yeah. So the only time I've ever seen that is Vincent Arsenault. I don't know if you guys remember Vinny Arsenault from the Vancouver days. yeah, he would want stitches as fast as possible. And he was a nut job and wouldn't want any Novocaine, which was wild. Like, but he would take it. He was one of the toughest guys that I've ever worked with and a good friend. I liked him a lot. Yeah.
Good dude, I got a stick.
So, yeah,
Good dude.
nice.
Good
Nice.
dude.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about this. This has been so much fun.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Sorry for the little interruptions there.
Hey, listen, that's what makes this show great because you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's awesome. But yeah, we will see you at the rink very soon because, like I said, we'll be there Friday night. So
yep, Friday night. So big game, and hopefully we can get the points needed. And
one more here. I was going to ask his Gertzy said anything about the Arsenal fight. Oh boy, I knew somebody was going to bring that up.
I haven't brought that up to him at all because I was there. I remember that, and that fight put Ars out for that year. Yeah. So that was tough, but man, it was knowing this year that we were getting Geertsen, it was nice knowing that we had someone with a little bit of grit coming back and that can handle themselves. And you could see it on the ice. But he's such a great locker room guy. He's always protecting everybody, and he's fun to watch. So, but no, I havenent brought that up.
He's got the best hair in the AHL. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, he does.
I love that mullet. It's great.
Yeah. Shout out to Paulie Randall's barbershop there. He goes there and gets cut up by Paulie Randall. So Paulie was a former fighter and tells Geertsen all the time that he would take him. So I don't know if I believe him.
A barbershop
That's
fight.
That's so cool. It'll be a pay-per-view.
We can video that. We can live stream that pay-per-view.
I'd love to see that.
Maybe just like WWE. Could you imagine? That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So.
I was just about to say that. So end of one, Syracuse is up 2-1 on Rochester. Like we were saying just before there, Ryan, just as long as somebody wins that in regulation. It's all.
Yep.
You're a Comets fan. That's all you want. So.
Yep. That's all.
I'll have to tell you what Gertzy said about him.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But like I said, Ryan, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys.
It's been a lot of fun. And like I said, we will see you soon at the rink. And let's do this again sometime. It was so much fun.
Absolutely. I loved it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. That was Ryan Monaco. That was so much fun. That really was. I tell you, I just love shows like that. And again, to get that behind the scenes look at things.
That was interesting. Yeah. I liked it. Yeah.
It really was. So, like I said, the only real game going on right now, as far as AHL that anybody around here is concerned about, is Syracuse up 2-1 against Rochester. So
do you want to root for Rochester, really, or at this point?
Looking at the standings, I'm telling you, and again, I still can't see how the Crunch and the Comets don't finish in the top three. But I mean, it really doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, if you're the Crunch, you want to obviously win in regulation to put some distance between yourselves and the Americans and the Comets. But if you're a Comets fan, you don't care who wins this game. As far as I'm concerned, anyway. If the Crunch win in regulation, it puts distance between the Comets and the Crunch, but it also levels things up with Rochester as far as games played because they have a game in hand on the Comets too. If Rochester wins, that means they leapfrog the Comets into third place. However, it keeps the Crunch within striking distance of second. So it's a big convoluted mess right now in the North Division. So, but it's a fun convoluted mess.
All right.
So, all right, fellas. Well, I think that's about all the time we got for this week's show. Again, I want to thank Ryan Monaco for coming on and talking to us about the assistant athletic trainer for the Utica Comets. And, of course, I want to thank you guys, Jordy and Vermi, for coming on. We appreciate it. And, of course, we want to thank you for watching and listening to us. And, of course, we appreciate all your support. Please subscribe to our shows on the podcast networks, say like Apple, Spotify, wherever, and YouTube. All right. So, for Jordan Brockway, for Mike Forminsky, for Dave the Save Warner, I'm Scott Kimball. Thanks for listening. We will see you next week on 315 Hockey Live.